So in the Buddha's teachings, I learned that your body and mind are two separate things, and your mind passes on from body to body in samsara.
Gets another body, yeah.
So with Nibbana, what happens with your mind? Does it
Nibbana.
die along with the body?
Oh, very nice, very nice. What a question. Do you think about it or someone told you to ask this question?
I don't know.
So shall I explain a very special phenomenon? So how many of you think this about this rebirth thing? What do you think? And karma? I will explain. One of the deepest things I will just little bit give you, because you asked me this question. It's not very deep, the explanation. How many of you think, not sure about karma and about rebirth? Can you raise your hand? Do you think karma is a true phenomenon? Do you think? How? Why? What is your proof? How did you find it that is true? Now, I used to investigate, as a young boy, and even now I would try to notice how it's related. I mean, all of y'all, do you think? What about you? You also, do you think karma and that they are true? And why do you come to the conclusion? It explains a lot of things. But you have not gone through Edgar Cayce many mentions like that. You have not heard about that book. Yeah, I hope you can refer that. It's interesting, something enlightening also, because he used to go into unconscious states, and he became famous. He's called Case Studies are there at one point. So the Buddha was concerned about next life. Like he found the suffering when you look at the original teachings regarding born again and dying again, and this endless like ocean. So many times we have been going, coming. So it is. So his main thing regarding to consciousness. Now consciousness is the one that is. He says now he gives the cause for what we are becoming conscious of a certain area. It is based on the karma, how we make it through mind and word and deed, but which is intentional. That becomes karma. So what he does, I can tell about my own life first, or some experiences, because normally I tell some experience in my own life to tell about karma, how I got to know as a forest monk and in the jungles when I happened to walk and meet some challenges with certain things. One I'm remembering suddenly. So because otherwise I also don't know how to get a proof of all these things. So anyway, so Buddha's concern, I will answer you, Buddha. Son, Malik, it's a very nice question. You put me into a very to part a very deepest thing. But you almost told the answer, It's really interesting. Did you think on your own, or were you thinking about these things, or what was it? Sorry? Thinking about on your own, eh? Okay. I will explain that. My teacher is to explain this as a when I felt very peaceful, but he used to tell it's very profound. But at a later period, it became very clear in my mind with reading the original teachings, what Buddha's purpose was. So now Buddha was concerned, now the rebirth was taking place. So this based on, it was like the fuel that we make. Normally a body also gets formed due to past karma, because consciousness needs a body. And in consciousness, it is feeling. Until feeling, it is the past karma. Because like if you are given, in short, in simple terms, if you are given suffering, you have to get suffering. If you are given happiness, you have to get. So happiness, sadness, all these experiences are experienced in short. This is more complicated how it really happens. But if you make it very simple, it happens in feeling. Okay, we feel something as pleasant, unpleasant. So if you have given unpleasantness, according to Buddha, we are put into an unpleasant area. Then what happens? We get unpleasant contact. Then we get unpleasant feelings. So then we have a choice to react, how we react now. So that can change things in short. So I just quickly explain this son's question. So according to Buddha, okay, I will also explain one story. I'm going to come to your topic, your question. Once I was, as a wandering monk, I was inspired by one particular monk. Before monk, I was frightened of becoming a monk. My main problem was actually we come from not a completely, you could say, discipline in the sense I in international schools and all that in southern Lesotho. So it's not that we are living a complete, you could say, a disciplined life. So there were some problems for me, like how can I live a celibate life continuously? This was a big issue. So what happened? This particular monk who was staying under tree, and he was very ascetic. He inspired me that time, and when I met him, he told me with like a few words that very simple. With meditation, you're going to just you can overcome it. Like that, he inspired me. So later on, he used to go. After 1 year, I also became a monk after this meeting, and then one day I came to meet him again to pay my respects, and and then I got to know from other people like he's talking to the sky or something. Like he's little mad, or some say he's mad, some say he's talking to angels. So it was like that. But anyway, when he met me, he gave me an inspiring talk and gave me a lot of inspiration. And then what happened, in the night, I have to go and stay in one location, one room I got, and from that room, like there was a television going on. So I was wondering, like in the other room. So there was like another window, an opening. I was a little irritated. I was wondering why this is so long, the night, this television, this film is going on, whatever film or whatever. So I just went and have a look. What are they doing so long, like that. Soon as I looked, I saw something very shocking. It was like, I was wondering, I was feeling upset with the people. I can't tell what it is, but you can imagine. It was not a good thing. I was seeing what they were looking at. So I was like frozen. I came to the bed and I was like waiting. What is this, And I can't go. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I can't go out. So I waited until it was daylight. And then I went straight to that monk. I was waiting to meet him. So when I came to him, he was, after breakfast, he was very cool. He didn't immediately answer me anything. He went under that tree, and suddenly he started talking to the air like this. So at that time, I had already planned, because I got some permission from my teacher, to go on a wandering journey for 2 weeks, like walking, we stay under a tree or stay with another temple, like that. That's how our tradition is, my teacher. So I thought little bit I go like that and go back to my teacher. This was also in my mind. So suddenly he was speaking to this monk was speaking to the air. He was telling like this. He's in Sinhalese language. Tell him to be careful with the celibate rule. He's telling me to be careful with the celibate rule. Now he's just talking like this. Tell him means somebody, I don't know, talking through him or what. Tell him to be careful with the celibate rule, because previous karma is happening to him now. Previous karma. And then what he said, he's planning to go on a walking journey. This is because of his previous life habits, of wandering like this. Tell him not to do it now. That's it. And he looked at me. It just came. Initially I was having some irritation and anger towards the people, or who was having, that thinking they are really bad people. Then it came to my mind very clearly, what I'm saying, what I'm experiencing through, that is my consciousness, awareness. So that is coming as a result of my past karma. And then you know that what you're seeing outside bad, that is the potential you are having within you, even the good. So this, like I have several experiences like this. So this also gave me and I could see how it was troubling me, time to time as a young monk. Even though I'm practicing very hard, suddenly this space of kind of, unmindfulness comes to my mind. And so there's another thing I got to know what I did in the past to experience that. But so anyway, this is something, this is one. Another thing I remember, I had some rumors in the monastery, not a monastery, I would say some place I was staying in Sri Lanka. I hope you all are hearing. You can come here, I think. You can come here. Oh, I don't know whether there's no speaker. Same. Doesn't matter. This also, so this monastery, oh, what to do? I had to say it's a monastery. Okay, whatever place I was staying, I had some rumors. Okay, anyway. But I didn't want to listen to rumors of what people are saying. It's not nice. So one day I was being there for some time because I feel very free there, and suddenly I had to go to give a message to the other building. When I went there, I suddenly, to my amazement, I suddenly saw something which, sort of this thing that doubt I had. And immediately it came to my mind, I was also in a kind of meditation, so it came to my mind for me to be careful in the coming days, I'm going to experience a similar. So the next day I was going to India actually for my Himalayas some trip. Then next day when I went to India, the flight, I could see the same thing that I saw from my eyes. I was tempted to to do that. But of course I didn't do that. But anyway, so it's very nice sometimes when you have enough mental energy, you can notice what's going on, not being inside in your experiences. You can set aside and really see some patterns, some ways how this is always happening, recurring again and again. So this is, I will come to my son's this thing. So karma, like this, what we have committed, like in the past or even this life, in nature, it comes out to work out. So then my teacher is to explain like this. Putta, I'm now going to explain your point, right? Listen properly now. The consciousness, my teacher is to tell me, for example, someone who did business, okay, who were involved with business, his mind, his consciousness is, what is it? Mostly occupied with the way of thinking and doing things as a businessman. Okay? So the next life, he will get a family who is supposed to do business. Okay? Or some kind of that way of, who will encourage to study business maybe, or who is having already a business, for example. Okay? So that his consciousness can go on in the same subject. Now, in the Buddha's teaching, we have a attainment called never returner. Never returner. Okay? So, now according to Buddha, it's very clear, consciousness needs an object to arise. Alright? It needs an object to arise. Now the ear and an object, the nose and object, with that only, when some reflection, then you have the corresponding consciousness. Without that object, we don't get that consciousness. Okay? So at the last moment of death, normally, what is predominantly done, okay, what we have, what determines our next journey, that object comes to our mind. And that becomes, the conditions are there for consciousness to arise. Okay, the last moment is well known, is called the last thought we are getting. So if we are very much occupied with family and general way of, at that moment, that is in the sensual world, then the thought connected to the sensual world will most likely come. And that will determine the type of consciousness and the next rebirth. Because when there's consciousness, there's name and form. Okay? So, according to now Buddha, what he does is now, for example, now say there is another class of enlightened beings on the way to enlightenment. They are called never returners. Their attachment or any kind of, now even to come here, for example, to this program, you have some karma in this regard. First you heard it in some flyer or something, then first you got a thought, oh, I must go there. Then you moved your body towards that. Okay? It is like a small rebirth. So same way, when a thought comes at the last moment, that becomes an object for consciousness. And when consciousness arises, there is name and form. Then it will arise in a mother's womb. Okay? So now, for example, there's a class of enlightened beings called never returner. Not fully enlightened, they don't return to this sphere. They're supposed to reach another higher divine world where they're perfect, because they still have that ego, or they are still attached to peacefulness, blissfulness. Okay? But they have no attachment to the five senses. Putta, this answer for your question, right? You have to follow this. Okay? So there's a certain class of beings who have anagami kila halata. Have you heard about anagami, never returner? Why are they never returner? They have removed all attachment to the sensual world, sense world, five senses, and there is no karma created in this world, the sensual world. So the last moment when they are dying, what kind of thought they will get? Do you think they will get some thought about their mother, father, auntie, uncle, or their business or bank accounts? Do you think? No, they will not, right? But their mind goes to what? The peacefulness. Okay? So normally when their last breath is going, normally the function of the body, the last breath, when it's going, do you think such an enlightened person can keep the attention to the last breath, or will he be distracted by the last thought he will get? What do you think? Sorry? Last breath, but he still has attachment to, what do you mean? Do you think he has no attachment whatsoever?
Yes.
He has no attachment? He has no attachment to the world of five senses, but he has attachment to that blissfulness. Okay? So when he has attachment to that blissfulness, when he's dying, will he be distracted by that bliss, or will he be able to look at the last moment of the breath?
Be distracted by the bliss.
Sorry?
Be distracted by the bliss.
He will sacrifice. Sorry?
Distracted by the bliss.
He will? Distracted by the bliss. Okay. Sorry, Australian accent. I'm blaming the Australian accent always. Okay. No, yeah, distracted by the bliss. Correct. So when he's distracted by the bliss, what does that mean? It is an object for consciousness, right? So when there's an object for consciousness, consciousness can arise or not arise?
It will arise.
Arise. When there's consciousness, there's name and form. That is in that world. Okay? So there's rebirth. Now say, for example, a fully enlightened being. Okay? He's have no attachment whatsoever. His karma, no karma to take place. So in the last moment of death, will he get a thought to get distracted? No. So will he be able to watch the breath, the last breath? Can he keep his attention to the last breath that is going?
Yes.
So when he's doing like that, what happens? That's what you were telling. With the end of the body, yeah, that is only in that such a being will happen. I don't know from where you got this. Because this is a very deep aspect. The main mystery of rebirth, Buddha, how he breaks the conditions for rebirth. He breaks the conditions for consciousness.